Is there something that you bought in life and then cringed? I want that ice cream. I want to go to that concert, and cringe. Oh my God, I did not like it at all. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever bought something, put your heart and soul in it, and then you realize that you actually regretted it? Here are 7 of my worst purchases ever, and I thought I'd share this with you because it could be a bit of a fun episode and it'll also help you avoid some of my own mistakes. The first one are all my impulse buys, and I do this especially with airline tickets. I don't know what it is with airline tickets, but every time I have an impulse buy around airline tickets, I am reconsidering, regretting my decision the next day, and then a week later, I am actually paying penalty charges to reschedule the flight or cancel the flight. If this has happened to you, please drop a yes in the comments below. It'll make me feel better, but this is one of the ones that I regret, and typically I have observed that I will be inclined to impulse purchases when I'm extremely tired and fatigued. When my brain is just not working, I need a bit of a dopamine hit. That's when I try and go for some retail therapy, is something they call it, and I end up purchasing things that I never wanted in the first place, and I ended up regretting it. The second category is of trendy fashion splurges. I have never really been the fashionista. However, there was a phase in my early 20s where I went about shopping for all the trendy things, and fair to say, I never wore them, and it was a huge waste of money. And not only money, actually trendy fashion costs the planet a lot, and therefore those are the purchases that I regret the most. Even when I got around to wearing them, after the first wash they would just fall apart, and that's something that I don't really like that much, because you spend the money and the time to pick up something and it costs you time and money one more time when things just fall apart, and it costs the planet. The third one is when I bought cheaper interpretations or cheaper abstractions of the original. Let me explain. I'm into books and reading books, and I am all about reading the originals. However, there are some times that I have picked up abridged copies of books and they have underwhelmed me, and then I actually sat back and thought to myself, why is it that I bought that abridged copy? It's because I don't have time to go through the original. And what I have found insanely more effective is this subscription that I now have called Short Form. Short Form basically has thousands of books and the abridged versions and the notes and commentary on thousands of books. And what I use Short Form for is a book filtering system. So if I like the read of something on Short Form, I go and buy the original one. However, if I don't like it and I want it to be summarized very, very quickly, I don't buy the original. I just stick to my Short Form subscription. It's arguably 100 times better than buying the abridged forms of the books. And if you want a Short Form subscription, I'll link it down in the description box below. You can get a free month's trial on me and a 20% discount. I also fell prey to buying courses that were reinterpretations of the original course. I'm not going to take names, but I know one of my mentors runs this extremely expensive program, and when I was very early on into my business journey, I wanted to get a cheaper course. So what I ended up doing was I ended up buying a course that was run by one of his students who claimed that he has the same stuff reinterpreted in his own way into his program, and his program was 10 times cheaper than the original program. And I went and bought this person's program. I have to say it did get me started, so no offense to that person, but actually I would have gotten 100x more value had I just spent 10x more money. And if I'm honest, that was underwhelming, and since then I decided that that was a costly mistake to make, and I would much rather go for the original than the reinterpretations or the abridged versions. The next one is my gym membership. I have a hate and hate relationship with the gym. I can never get to the gym. Even when I have tried my best, I have only been to classes where they are teaching kickboxing or something. So I was getting a bit frustrated that I am paying for the subscription and then I'm not using it. So I ended up canceling it, and it ended up making me feel more in control of my finances and my health situation as well. Which brings me to the next purchase, which is gym equipment. So I thought at the beginning of COVID that, hey, I can't go to the gym. Maybe I'll make the gym come to me. And I went in and bought a whole set of gym equipment. I have never used it. And this is the point. Unless you know yourself deeply enough, you don't know what you want to spend your time and money on. So turns out that I'm not a person who likes the gym. I actually like the pool more. So I go for swimming every week these days. And for that, no one has to remind me that, hey, you have to go to swimming. But with the gym, even when I had the gym equipment in my house, I still was not using it. So it still lies unused in pristine condition in my house. That's definitely one of the worst purchases I've made. The next one was on wine bottles that I did not necessarily necessarily understand, but someone told me that they were great wine and therefore I should devour them and I should spend money on them. And I went ahead and bought a lot of wine bottles like that. Turns out that my taste in wine is completely different to that person's, and therefore I still have a lot of wine bottles lying in my home that I don't enjoy, and I don't even drink alcohol these days anymore. So they are there sitting at home collecting dust in the cellar. So yeah, there you have it. If you don't understand something, it's perhaps best that you don't go in and invest in it, whether that be wine bottles or casks or hotels in the Bahamas or any other fancy investment vehicle. And then the final one, and arguably the most expensive regret that I have till date, is the money that I invested in life insurance when I was 22 years old. A 22-year-old person doesn't typically need life insurance. And if you are someone who's paying for life insurance thinking that it's investment, think again. Go through the policy terms and statements. Look at how much money you could have gained in the market or in any other investment class than putting money into your life insurance. And I ended up investing quite a lot of money into life insurance that I did not need, and I ended up being poorer than I had started out with the money. I was lucky enough that I realized 5 years on that it wasn't the right decision for my money, and I pulled the remaining money out. Had I gone on to the full maturity of that policy, I would have doubled my losses in those next 5 years. Now there you have it. Those were my terrible life choices. What are some of yours? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy something like this or this. And if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to this channel. It motivates me so much to keep creating these videos, and I'll see you the next time. Bye.